Hello and welcome to the House of Vizsla, where we talk anything and everything Star Wars. Today is a weird episode because it's just an audio episode, so you don't see our faces or any cool graphics. But we are talking about the Phantom Menace, Episode 1 of Star Wars. I'm here with my co-host, Fives.
How you guys doing? Thanks for joining in.
So, a while back when we were in college in the dorm room, we decided to watch Phantom Menace. And then we were like, hey, let's record and make a video with it. So this is mine
Yep.
when at 10:05 at night on a random Friday night. So,
Yes, sir.
uh, my day has been going good. I've been working a new job, making wraps, which has been fun. What about you?
I've been shopping all day for my brothers and sisters, so kind of boring, but it is what it is.
Alright.
I wish I had a
So,
job, but I don't. I'm stuck at home watching the Clone Wars all over again.
so we are talking about episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is the first of the prequel trilogy
Uh-huh.
films. It is written and directed by George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, and the soundtrack is by um, John Williams. And unlike Star Wars is weird on the way that it's released. It was released A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then nothing.
Yep.
And then in
And then they went back.
1990 something, right before the turn of the millennium, episode
Hmm.
1 came out. Whole new cast.
Yes, sir.
People were lining
So,
up to watch it. Toys were released,
yep.
and the trailer. People went to movie theaters to buy tickets for other movies just to watch the
Just to
trailer
watch the
for
trailer.
episode
Yeah,
1.
so there was, like, a lot of hype behind it coming out because like, Star Wars had been such a big hit, and it had been so many years since they released something. So by now, everyone is, like, so excited for, the new Star Wars to come out.
Yeah,
And, there it is, The Phantom
so
Menace.
imagine imagine being waiting in line, people dressed up, probably having lightsabers. You're walking in to the movie theater, sitting there, watching The Phantom Menace for the first time. Incredible.
Yep.
Sadly, we weren't alive for that. We can only imagine. But
Yeah, 1999.
earlier
So,
this year, on May the 4th, Lucasfilm re-released Phantom Menace for the 25th anniversary of
yep,
the Phantom Menace, and I went and saw it in theaters. It was amazing.
yeah.
So, um, unlike our Acolyte show, we could rate it. We don't know. We are doing this episode at the seat of our pants because we have nothing scripted, no idea what to do for this like movie review the discussion about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
um,
I guess we could, like, talk about what happens in the movie and then, I don't know, lore
yeah.
behind that.
So like every Star Wars movie that has been made leading up to this point, it starts with the one and only a long time ago in the galaxy. Lucasfilm logo, a long time ago in the
Uh-huh.
galaxy far, far away.
Yep.
And then you hear the music playing. Do 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 do. I forget how it's I forget how it sounds, but ba ba ba.
Anyways, it's definitely cool.
Yes. If you watch any Star Wars show, it is the main theme to the whole universe. So that
Dun,
play,
dun, 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 dun,
and you hear
dun, 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 dun.
Star Wars Episode 1, A Phantom Menace, blank a whole bunch of text, and that gives us the synopsis of the film. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna quickly search it. Um,
Yeah. Snatch that up real quick. Um, actually, I have a joke for you guys. So Qui-Gon was sent to negotiate the trade routes, but instead of successfully negotiating them, he sparked 6 movies of intergalactic war. So, I mean, great guy, but I don't know. He, didn't
so
exactly do that well.
right as the music hits Star Wars. Um, oh, the tagline for this movie. This is from Wikipedia. Every generation has a legend. Every journey has a false step. Every
Uh-huh.
saga has a beginning.
Mm,
So
that's actually
the
good.
the opening text is ready. Turmoil of has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of the trade routes to outlining star systems is in dispute.
Uh-huh.
Hoping to resolve this battle with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo, while the Congress of the Republic endlessly debate this alarming chain of events. The Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the Guardians of Peace and Justice, to the galaxy to settle this conflict. Dot dot dot.
Oh, yeah.
And the movie starts, and I think they do the pan down.
Uh-huh. Probably the Pan
Ha-
Down, I would assume.
Yeah, and you see the ship going, which the Jedi are on, to this planet
Mhm.
Naboo. And
Yeah,
unlike the original trilogy, Naboo is a completely different world. It isn't ran
exactly.
by us or anything. Um,
Yeah, we
this is a
haven't seen this world before or anything. It's, like, completely new stuff.
and but it has a purpose. So
Mhm.
the planet is has 2 species: the humanoids, the Naboo. I forget the name of the people there.
Yeah,
The
the
Naboo people, and then
Uh-huh.
you have the Gungans, which are the natives of that land. And
Yep.
the Gungans eat the humans. The humans don't know. They don't mess with the Gungans, but the Gungans live in this underwater city. Um,
Yeah,
but
little bubble, communities.
but our 2 Jedi are Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The last time we heard that name was
Mhm.
an episode during this time would be the first ghost appearance of
Yep,
Alec Guinness as Ben Kenobi in Return of the Jedi. And Return
exactly.
of the Jedi actually had 3 different names. It
Yeah.
had
I don't know if
it was
we've discussed
originally
this before, but yeah,
it was
there's, like, the
originally
theatrical cut.
called no, not the releases, naming. It
Oh.
was originally gonna be
Oh,
named Revenge of the Jedi,
no way.
and
Mm,
then it became Return of the Jedi. But because Star Wars is a massive success, they called it they called it um they called it Blue Harvest because they
really?
could get
Huh,
yes, because it was cheaper to go under a fake um company name than it being called Star Wars. And yeah, it
interesting.
was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you search Blue Harvest, you get the Family Guy episode of Star Wars as a
No,
nod. But
that's crazy. Yeah, it's
but
good that it's named Return of the Jedi because revenge has, like, a negative connotation, like,
yeah,
towards the
um,
dark side there, so, yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
but the um, but
Yeah,
that was the working title of Return of the Jedi.
mhm,
Makes um because you want to hide. Oh, you're working on it until later.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, back to the Phantom.
Yes.
So, what Jacob, tell us what are the Jedi doing on Naboo? Why are they going there?
So they were sent by Chancellor Vallon. So he's the guy in charge. He's kind of like the president of the galaxy. Um, and he is walking on. Um, he sent the Jedi back to negotiate peacefully, but
Yep.
the leader of the Trade Federation, Viceroy Gunray, doesn't
Mhm,
really like that the Jedi on board, so they locked them in a conference room and called
mhm.
up some guy at
Yeah,
some point, and
but
um, they tried to poison the Jedi with gas. But
mhm.
but with
Definitely wanted to get rid
the
of them. But, obviously, that's good luck with that, bro.
so
The
the Phantom Menace, its working title was The Beginning, um,
mm, okay.
and the title wasn't changed until shortly before the film's completion, kind of to keep it a secret to a successful galaxy. Um,
Mhm, yeah.
but that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And so
that is
your
cool,
two Jedi, or Qui-Gon Jinn, played by Liam Neeson, and Obi-Wan Kenobi by Ewan McGregor. Um, and
mhm.
you've got this good, like, the Jedi by the books, kind of, and he's the Padawan, but the Master's kind of has his own way about things. Doesn't really like the
Yeah,
Council. Um,
mhm. You might
so
say he's, like, almost rogue, like, um,
Rogue or
he
like
does
a
he
gray Jedi.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because some things he doesn't do not
So
align with the council, but they're not necessarily
yeah,
bad things. You know what I mean?
yeah. So um, and Qui-Gon was is a cool Jedi. Liam Neeson is an amazing actor and actually portrayed it very well. Um,
For sure, for sure.
but they were poisoned and they tried to escape, and droids were attacking them. They got their way, and they were almost into the door to go to the bridge of the ship. But these
Yep.
rolling droids, I forget that they
Droideka? Is
showed up.
that their
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
droidicas. and they have force
and
fields to like protect it.
force
And
fields
Jedi,
with 2, like, blaster thingies, so they skedaddled. They got out of there, and, while they were escaping, they actually, um, in the process found out, "Oh, they're sending a droid army down to Naboo." So, they jumped on one of the transports with the droids, right?
yeah. Um,
And
so yeah, they were down now, and they figured out that they're invading the planet. The planet's
mhm,
peaceful. Um, and but and the two Jedi were separated. They were thought, let's get into separate transports, cause easiest way down. If you're in the same transport, you
yep,
get caught. Bad
exactly.
luck. Uh, so they separated. Um, Qui-Gon ran into this creature,
Mhm.
named Jar Jar Binks,
And this guy has no idea what he's doing. He's about to get killed
and
by the transport. So Qui-Gon
and
does, what a Jedi would do.
jumps in front of him and saves his
Tackles
life.
him to the ground. Yeah, saves him.
Us fans throughout the years just don't like him because he's a weird and cool, weird character.
Yeah,
But
he's clumsy. He is funny though, so I'll give him that.
he's the comic relief for this
Exactly.
because we don't have C3PO. We don't have
Uh-huh.
Anthony Daniels or BB-8, not
Exactly.
or R2-D2, so we need this comic relief in it.
Yep.
And he's played by Ahmed Best.
Mhm.
So
All right. So after they save him, um, he leads them to
the Gungan
wait, they
City,
yeah, the Gungan City, and then
and
they
it's
it's
underwater.
underwater. So their species, they seem like they're amphibious. Like they live on land and water. They're fine with both because they swim really well, I guess.
Yes,
But even that being said, they live like in air pockets underwater.
which is
Um,
weird.
yeah, like if you're gonna do that, why not just? I think it's for protection, probably, because to avoid detection.
Avoid
I don't know.
detection and to protect against the creatures of the sea.
Yeah.
But Jojo kind of is cast out from their own society,
Uh huh.
his own society. But he brought these two Jedi humanoids in and asked for safe passage to the Naboo,
Yep.
the city side of it, not the swampy side of it. Um, and was able to get transport, and um, Pygon was able to save Jojo's life from death, and now he is part of the crew. And
Yay.
they have a fun adventure across and through the center of the planet,
Uh
which
huh.
is cool, and makes it to the other
Yeah.
side. But
Surviving many huge creatures underwater. There's always a
but
bigger fish.
but this hooded figure, which we don't know much about, we don't know if they even called him anything besides Lord or
Hmm.
Dolph. Um, I think um, did they call him anything?
Ah, I'm no, I don't think so. Loki, I don't think they
Um,
did.
I don't think they
Yeah.
call it anything till later on. Um,
Mhm.
but this hooded figure was talking with the Trade Federation, and at the same
Uh-huh.
time, um, the Queen of Naboo, Padme, Queen Amidala,
Uh-huh.
last name's called, who's played by someone we don't
By
know.
someone. That someone is Natalie Portman? Is that her? Wait.
Yes,
Yeah, Natalie Portman. There you go.
um, as the Queen,
Yup.
but they will basically kidnap and tried forced to get to sign the treaty and was
Uh-huh.
like, no, we aren't signing the treaty. Um,
And obviously, the guys from the Trade Federation, they're like, okay, we're going to threaten you guys with our army that we now have
and
on the planet.
and was taking them to camp.
Uh
And
huh.
this is where our friendly Jedi's saved them and cut down all the droids. And
It's
and they
actually kind of funny to see the Jedi like just easily slicing through all the droids. You know,
yes, like it's Buttle.
it's literally they're so thin and it's so easy to. Gotta
Not
love lightsabers.
cool. Um,
Yeah,
but as they are there, they are um, walking. They go back to the ship, but the ship is kind of in control by the droids as well as the pilots. So they were able to free them with the help of the Jedi
uh-huh.
and their lightsabers, and the Queen is rescued
Yep.
from the hands of the Trade Federation.
Yay. But
Sounds familiar?
it's not. I mean,
It
maybe a
sounds
little.
it sounds so familiar. A
Mm.
princess gets kidnapped and
Rescued.
trapped and
Yeah.
rescued by a
Right.
hairy beast, a gunslinger, this Jedi, and his want-to-be apprentice.
Armor
But
boy.
in
Yeah.
this,
Eh,
but in this
But I
story,
mean,
it's not. Um,
it's not over yet. You know, there's more to it.
it, there's more. So they escape, but the Trade Federation still has a blockade against. I'm tired. Against
Yeah, I
against the
get you.
planet. So
And
they are starting to shoot it down like
and it's like, oh
any
great,
good
now we're being fired at.
ship. So and it damages part of the ship. So they send these droids out, four of them.
And one by one,
One
they're
gets
picked off by the lasers. Just like
besides one.
pew, pew.
One
There's
was able
the
to save
yeah,
his day, save the day, and got all covered in grime. How? I don't know how.
like space grime or something. Anyways, wouldn't you know it? It's our favorite astromech droid, R2D2. Applause.
R2D2.
Clap, clap, clap.
I think this might be a robotic one, or Kenny Baker is still inside the suit. But this
Yeah, I don't know.
handmaiden named Padme is told to clean the droid up. And that's
Yeah,
where
obviously at this
Padme
point.
meets Jojo.
Mm, yeah, you're right. She meets
And
him, and
what's your point?
I don't
What's
know.
the point you were gonna say?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at
So
that point,
at this point, spoiler, nobody knows that Padme is actually the queen, but because right now she looks just like one of the handmaidens, right?
yes. Um, and um, Padme cleans the droid, but the hyperdrive's damaged. They can't make it to Coruscant. So they
But
land on this desert planet
the
controlled by the
same
Hutts,
planet, yeah, it's called Tatooine.
which we
We've heard that
know
name before.
this is
Exactly.
the home of the legendary hero Luke
Luke Skywalker,
Skywalker.
and where his, uncle and aunt lived,
But
you know?
yes, but they land far away from the town,
Uh-huh.
and they are looking for some parts to fix the ship. So Qui-Gon onto Jar Jar leave, and Obi-Wan is stays on the ship. R2's last words. Um,
Stay on the ship. Okay.
um, spoiler warning for future show. Um, but um, but the Queen doesn't like it. The Queen wants to send one of her handmaidens with the crew,
Yeah.
and Qui-Gon really doesn't like it.
He's like, "Nope, no,
And
we don't, that's
and
there's no point in bringing her, right? Because what is she gonna do? Like, protect them or something? She's
and
just
they
gonna cause
send
more trouble."
Padme. They send
Coincidence?
Padme. I think not. Um,
Yeah,
uh, so they go to the shop ran by this Troydarian named Watto. It's like a
what
flying
the
creature. And one thing about that
Mhm.
species is they can't be controlled by mind control,
Mm,
which is the thing
that's a little
that
disadvantageous, yeah, for a Jedi.
this this is the thing that Obi-Wan Kenobi did to the stormtroopers how many years back. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
Yep,
Um, and they end up meeting this kid because what Qui-Gon was talking with Watto, and Jar Jar was messing around with a pit droid, which is a droid that collapses super small, and there's this kid sitting on a table,
yep.
and he's played by Jake Lloyd. Amazing job, number one.
Yes, sir.
But this is Anakin. Anakin
It
Skywalker. That name sounds familiar, right?
uh-huh. I think it does.
That was another hero named Luke Skywalker. And we know from um, Ben, your father was killed by Darth Vader. We ended up that your um, father is Darth Vader. So forth, so
Exactly.
forth, so forth.
Uh-huh.
This
So
thing
people watching it
is now
yeah, people watching it for the first time, they have some
don't
connections to the
don't
old movies, right?
yeah. Number one,
And
you don't you don't want to watch um ideally you don't want to watch Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace. Watch the original trilogy first, because it's better.
that yeah,
But
watch that
if you
first,
watch
then go back.
other way around, you get to see the in progression of Anakin Skywalker.
That is
It
true.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There were different ways you can watch it. There's ways
Mhm.
to watch it where you watch a bit of the Clone Wars and understand more about Anakin's character, so forth. But this isn't that today's episode. We
Yeah.
focus on Phantom Menace. Um, so, um,
Let's see, where were we?
Um, Meeting Anakin, and
Right,
Anakin
right, right.
asks this question to Padme: "Are
Right
you
off
an angel?"
right off the bat, he has the riz, bro.
And
Obviously, I think he has a crush on her. Despite
this
the what is it,
beautiful,
5-year age gap?
yeah, 5, 10 year, yeah. Um, but um, Padme is not an angel. If she was, we would have heard her name already. Previous
Exactly.
films. Um, but um, but they leave and they couldn't get the part because they don't take the Republic credits. Ah, dang.
Yeah. Man,
So
what are we gonna do now?
they were going back to their ship, and but Anakin was set free, as in you can go home.
Mhm.
But
Shift is over. Sandstorm blows in,
but
right?
Sandstorm, yeah, and
And then Anakin
they don't
convinces,
have enough
uh
convinces them to come over to his
yeah,
house.
because they can't make
And
it
they
out to
have
their ship in time, right?
yeah, they have
So
this nice meal. We get introduced to Shmi Skywalker and
uh-huh,
um this very skinny royal mess translator named
yes.
C3PO.
Human cyborg relations. Wait, what?
This is
Yeah.
voiced by Anthony Daniels. This is the same C3PO from the other films, but just naked. Without his
Yes.
gold coverings and
Yeah.
still his wiring because Anakin's still working on him. But we get mentioned, we hear that Anakin and his mom, Shmi, are slaves.
Mhm.
Slavery was outlawed. Um, but, um,
On the outer rim, there's no,
and,
the law doesn't
and
matter,
Anakin
right?
thinks Qui-Gon is a Jedi. And Qui-Gon said, maybe I killed a Jedi. Anakin also said, no one can kill a Jedi.
Yeah, no one can. They're
Um,
invincible.
so they are, um, but the only way to make money is through a pod race. Um, so, um,
Yeah, make money for the hyperdrive, right? That they need.
yeah, to fix the ship. So Anakin offers to be the racer because he's the only humanoid pod race pilot, which that shows up a red flag.
Yeah.
Human pod race pilot, think NASCAR or Formula One, 10 times, maybe 100 times faster. To be honest, George Lucas is a
The
big race car fan, so that was probably the reason why it was in there. But this is strange to a first-time viewer. You have to have good reflexes to be able to drive fast.
Yeah, like, really good reflexes. These pods are moving at, like, hundreds of miles per hour, right?
And yeah,
And
and we earlier when they had dinner, Joshua tried
mhm,
to grab something with his tongue, and guess what? Qui-Gon was able to catch it.
he has really good reflexes too. And,
So, and we know
there's
he's
already
a
a
Jedi.
sign, you know? Yeah.
Maybe this guy's force sensitive. So, they get the pod race for Bill. Qui-Gon said, "Hey, um, I found this pod. I'm gonna race it. Blah 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 blah. Um,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. I'll sell you the race. Some agreement of some sort to get the money, something to
Yep.
get the
Yep.
parts. But um, Qui-Gon decides to do a blood test because he has some stripes and to make sure there's no bacteria.
Uh-huh.
But
Sure,
he
sure.
sends it to Qui-Gon to do a blood analysis.
Yeah.
And midichlorians, what binds the galaxy together? Didn't Obi-Wan
Microorganisms inside
say
of
that
I
every
think,
single? Yeah, Ben said that how many years back? Oh, forwards, if you're thinking of it timeline. To Luke, and
yeah, chronologically or historically.
we find out that Anakin has the highest number of these counts of cells,
The
more than
yeah,
Yoda,
even above
the little
Yoda.
green frog. So
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Like, okay, guys,
So
wow. Everyone should be immediately impressed because, like, this kid has potential. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
so
I think they come to
um,
the realization that he's definitely force sensitive right here.
and yes, and then the pod race happens, and but we also find out Anakin doesn't have a father, only a
Yes.
mother. How does
And
that
she
happen?
says, yeah,
It exists in reality because technically we know that is a human born to someone who's a virgin. Different story, but that's the
yes, but
story.
definitely true. Uh-huh.
And it's true. Um, but what that's even crazy because he doesn't have a father. His father could have been a Jedi, and that would have been forbidden. We don't know who
Uh-huh.
his blood.
Yeah,
Like,
all Shmi says is that there was no father. It, like, it just happened. Like, it was born.
yeah,
So,
the miracle.
um,
Um, so
definitely,
that
like, not a
even
new concept, you know? It's
not
kinda
new concept. It happened so many years back
George
at the
Lucas.
turn of
Yeah.
the calendar.
Why do you think the entire timeline is based off of this one event, guys?
No, no, not that event. BBY, ABBY.
Oh, maybe oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Before the Battle of Yavin, after the Battle of Yavin. But
Yeah,
um, we have this the Padre happens, but um, Qui-Gon made a wager with Watto if
yeah. For,
Anakin wins, Anakin is freed and he gets a pod race or something, and the mother was free as well. Good.
Watto says only one of them can be free, though, so they roll a dice,
Yes.
and
They were a chance
Qui-Gon
chance cube. Qui-Gon may have cheated,
yeah, yeah,
and
and he pushed the dice towards the boy, so now we know
yes.
if Anakin wins, he will be freed. He will no longer be a slave.
So the pod race happens. Rough stuff for
Yep.
Anakin at the beginning, but he was able to catch up. Him and
Yep.
Saboba was
This
the only two near the end of the race. Neck
even
and
though
neck.
Sebulba yeah, he Sebulba cheated many times, guys, so it's not like it
Yes.
wasn't really fair to begin with, but Anakin
But
comes out barely
Anakin
on top.
won.
Yeah,
And he won,
so
which is crazy.
yeah.
Um, and he's free. His they have enough credits to buy the parts and they're safe. But
Uh-huh.
meanwhile, Mr. Hooded guy we don't know, sends his apprentice, another hooded figure, to hunt them down.
Yep.
Um, on
And
Tatooine. When
yep.
they go back to the ship with the parts,
Yeah,
they
this is
go,
after,
and
Anakin
Qui-Gon
says
goes back, and
sorry,
Qui-Gon go back.
Anakin says goodbye to his mother, and then
Yes,
they're headed
and
back to the
he
ship,
did it.
right?
They're heading back to the ship, and they attack. Qui-Gon told him to drop and run to the ship afterwards, and Qui-Gon stayed and fought and jumped onto the ship. Great fight scene, and he had a green lightsaber because of being outside fighting in
Yep.
Tatooine. But Qui-Gon survives and jumps out, and they head their way to Coruscant, where they meet this Chancellor,
Chancellor,
not
what's his last
Chancellor
name?
Valorm,
Yeah, yeah,
and
Valorum.
Senator Palpatine.
Oh
Oh,
shoot,
who was this wrinkly guy in
Emperor Palpatine? Is that who you're
Empire?
talking about?
Yeah, Emperor Palpatine from
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi.
they must be like
Same,
distantly
same,
related or something, right?
yeah, same soul name. Maybe Senator Palpatine was his father. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it could be.
but um, the Jedi were off. Um, and Jedi went back to the temple. Um,
Hmm.
um, and
They
the
introduce Anakin to
Queen,
the council, right?
no, the Queen, Anakin, and um, Jar Jar went back with Palpatine,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, while there, Palpatine explains, "I'd like to put a vote of no confidence with the Chancellor
Uh
because
huh.
stuff is happening."
Yep.
At the same time, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan discuss this hooded figure with a red lightsaber and who is later Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Um,
Mm.
he's an amazing character, played
Yes.
by Ray
Really.
Park, who's an amazing stunt actor and choreographer. Um,
Uh huh.
so he is out. He's back. Okay. Darth Maul is back at Naboo with the Trade Federation. And then Qui-Gon talks to the council about the boy. And
I guess the boy.
Qui-Gon could
Right.
have waited and re-met with the council, but Mace Windu who's played by Samuel L. Jackson, was kind of hesitant at first.
Yep.
So in the Jedi Order structure, there is the Grand Master and the Master of the Order.
Yeah.
And the Master
Okay.
of the Order was uh, Mace Windu and was
Yep.
kind of the president of the Jedi Council, sat on top of the High Moose Council, and Yoda was also on it, but he was the basically master of the whole Jedi Temple.
Mm.
It's weird, Grandmaster and Master of the
As he should
Order.
be. Yeah.
Um, so um, then Anakin, um, they decide to test Anakin, but Anakin wanted to speak with Padme. But Padme was
Hmm.
busy, not down. Strange. More on that later. Um, so, um, I, we did drop the bomb that Padme was also the queen, but that's spoiler. for the rest of the story later. Um, so going, Anakin is tested, but Yoda senses some fear,
Fear.
uneasy
Mm,
in Anakin, and that could have
yeah,
swayed the decision because he's old, he's like 10 years old.
yeah, he's
Jedi
also returning.
quickly snatched up as tiny little babies, so
Mhm.
that is something. So we don't really know what's happening. Um, so they end up going back. The Queen does a push off a vote of no confidence and leaves. They go back. They decide. The Jedi Council meets up with Anakin. They say, "Hey, still protect the Queen and be there, but also that the boy is not to be trained." With the boy in front of them, Anakin was there. Instead of keeping Qui-Gon there and sending Obi-Wan and Anakin out of the
Yes,
council
I
hall
really think
and say this. That
yeah, that's what they
would have
should have
been
done,
much better
but yeah,
because
because then
it's like,
as a
oh,
result yeah, Anakin, he hears everything they're saying, and he forms I don't know if he has, like, necessarily resentment yet against them, but he has the memory in his mind that they
of
didn't want to
them just
accept him,
saying
right?
no. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
No.
strange. If you're making a decision, this board is making a decision on this kid who Qui-Gon thinks is the chosen one. Why not take him out of the room and let him talk so the kid doesn't get a false sense of hope?
Yeah.
Because Qui-Gon could have broken the news better.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The council
Oh, well,
just
though.
the council said no, did something more politely, but they end up going back to Naboo, and
Uh-huh.
they met up with the Gungans, but the Gungans weren't underwater. They were at the sacred place. Well, there, the Queen decided to talk, but another
Here's
voice
where,
started
uh
speaking. This was
yeah.
Padme. Padme said, "I am the Queen. My handmaiden, who's my trusted advisor or something,
Mhm.
is a
Yeah,
decoy for my
exactly,
protection."
exactly. She was the queen the whole
Um,
time.
and was the Queen the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and Anakin and the Jedi were shocked. So then the Duel of the Fates happened.
Bum,
This is
bum,
where the
bum.
Gungans are marching on a field to the city. So
Yep.
the Trade Federation decided to send their droids. Great.
Yep, their
At
whole
the
droid army.
same time, at the same time, the two Jedi and the rest of the party, um,
Yeah,
with the pilots, go back. Um,
to
they
to try to break
got
in the
as much,
palace, right?
yeah, they got as much pilots and stuff. So they break in. They went to the hangar, and there at the hangar, the pilots went and jumped into their N1 fighters to fly up to space. So that is
Yep.
now a second battle going on. Keep count. First battle, Gungans droids. Second battle, pilots space.
Uh-huh.
Then a hooded figure steps in. Darth
Uh-oh.
Maul.
Wait.
The Jedi handle it. That is the third battle going on. So a total of three battles. That's crazy.
happening all at the same time. Yeah, that is crazy.
And we hear the classic music of wah, wah, do 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 do. The Duel of the Fates sound. If
Yes,
you
sir.
haven't listened, if you haven't listened to it, I suggest listening to it. Um, it is an epic piece by John Williams with a
Yes, sir.
fire, singing some ancient words, and the strings beautiful.
Yeah, this guy's
So,
cracked. He
but
knows what he's doing.
Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon told Anakin to stay in that like ship and stay safe.
Uh-huh.
And but they accidentally go up into space as well.
Yeah. Apparently
And
it's like on autopilot or something.
yes,
And
so
they
Padme,
go along with all the other N1 fighters.
yes, and Padme with the small team decide to break in and go to the throne room.
Uh-huh.
And they have to scale the outside of the building. Meanwhile, Jedi are still fighting. Gungans are still fighting. So, but they make it to the ship. They make it to the throne room. Anakin does some spinning, says this is really pod racing, and ends up flying into the Trade Federation ship, the master control system for all the droids, fighting
Yeah.
all over the city and the Gungans.
Yeah.
Um, and it looks like if you've watched Endgame, not Infinity War, the
Uh-huh.
Wakandan forces versus Thanos' forces. That's
Yeah.
always been a
Actually,
cross.
you're right. Yeah, it does remind me of that.
Um,
But obviously this was
so
before, so yeah.
yeah, they copied Star Wars. Um, but during this, Anakin makes it inside the Bible and
Uh-huh.
accidentally hits some buttons and destroys the ship and flies out. Now the droids are useless, and the
Yeah.
Gungans win because they were being captured. And
Yeah, the battle for the Gungans, uh they were basically just stalling them, you know, because
yes,
they
a
needed the forces
diversion.
pulled away from the city. Yeah,
Yes, and it
diversion.
was a
Exactly.
diversion, and it was kind of like natives versus Englishmen.
Yeah,
Englishmen with the
and
guns, that's the droids, and the Indians as the or natives as the Gungans with
yeah,
stones and slingshots and
and as it
spears.
worked out though, the risk, it paid off because the diversion worked and they did get in
Um,
the palace.
Palace Room, and was able to catch Viceroy Gunray.
Yeah.
And um, but meanwhile, Battle 3 with the Jedi and the Sith. Darth Maul goes on. They go up to this corridor, run through it. Maul
Uh-huh.
is trapped, angrily impatient, slashing his lightsabers against this force field.
Uh-huh.
Qui-Gon is there, trapped too, meditating, and Obi-Wan is on the outside of this. And
Uh-huh.
this is like a timed deactivation activation situation.
Yeah. It's like timed out. They deactivate and activate at certain times. So they're
Yeah,
just basically waiting until they deactivate again so they can resume fighting. But like we
yes,
see the stark contrast again between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul as we now know him.
yes.
Um,
And one's peacefully waiting, meditating, clearing his mind. The other's impatient,
yeah,
wanting to keep fighting. And
yeah,
they
and
go
then
out. They're in this kind of ovally shaped with this giant pit.
uh-huh,
But
and they resume
Obi-Wan
fighting.
didn't make it. but
he tries to run through all of them, but then it closes off again. So now he's just stuck watching Qui-Gon and Darth Maul fight.
fight. Darth Maul, sadly, stabs Qui-Gon. If it was a
No,
Disney
Qui-Gon.
movie, if
Yep.
it was a Star Wars movie, Qui-Gon would still be alive because lightsabers in the Disney era don't kill. Weird.
Ay, ay,
Um,
ay. Yeah.
but
Well,
Qui-Gon dies.
he does.
Oh
Well,
no.
okay, not like immediately, but like, um, obviously Obi-Wan is watching this, and the force field finally opens, and he rushes out
And
there. Qui-Gon's already obviously injured, right? And he
yeah,
starts going at it faster than ever. Also, we like these prequels, the the lightsaber fighting is definitely faster
intense.
than yeah, it's more intense than the original ones, right?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I mean is cool.
Way more intense.
Yeah.
Uh, so with that, um, Qui-Gon is not that, and he's like hanging up against this, and his lightsaber gets kicked out, and Darth Maul is slicing back and forth, slicing back and forth.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sparks
But
flying in Obi-Wan's eyes.
but I don't know when didn't his lightsaber get cut in half by Qui-Gon or before?
It
I'm not sure.
I'm I'm pretty sure it was cut in half by Qui-Gon.
So
Yeah,
it's just
it's something
single
like that.
staple. So it's
Yeah, it's
not
just a
much.
single saber now. Uh-huh.
Um, but Obi-Wan sees Qui-Gon's um lightsaber, uses the Force to catch it and pull himself off, and continue fighting, and ends up slicing
Placing
Darth
Darth
Maul in
Maul.
half,
Yep, and
in
he
half,
tumbles
uh,
down
side to side. So
entire.
his stomach and head is separate from his legs
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and
That's the last of we see of him, right? I
lower
mean,
body. Yes. So
for now at least.
Darth Maul's gone. So then the senator comes back, and the whole Jedi are back, and everything. And but
Mhm.
the senator isn't the senator anymore. Palpatine has been voted chancellor.
Ooh, okay,
Strange.
okay. We see him move up.
Yeah.
Not quite emperor, but, he
Um,
still might be related.
Qui-Gon died and told Obi-Wan to train the boy. Originally, um, George Lucas had Ewan McGregor be Obi-Wan, and not Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon was Obi-Wan. And when Liam Neeson's character died,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ewan McGregor's character took the name Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I see. Yeah.
But he decided not to flip it, because it would have been confusing as what.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That would have been a little confusing, but
so Yoda meets with um with
Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan and grants
Yeah.
him the rank of knight. So he's no longer
Mhm.
Padawan, and says you're gonna be training the boy. Because right now, Anakin's like father figure, which was Qui-Gon, for these 3 days, acted like a father, died.
Uh-huh.
So when
And,
like and Obi-Wan is kind of taking a place, but is more like a brother, cause like they both had a relationship with Qui-Gon, and
uh-huh.
he's just trying to fill the gap. And um, during the
Exactly.
ceremony, um, for the funeral of Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan tells Anakin, "You will be trained. I will train you." Um,
Uh-huh.
as well, Yoda and Mace Windu is talking. Who, which one is it? The master or the apprentice who died? We know as viewers that it was the apprentice, not the master.
Yeah,
But
but they
to
don't know
them, they
that,
don't know.
so
Yes.
exactly, yeah.
So this hooded figure is still there. Um, and then they go into the celebration scene where the Gungans rock down. Padme gives them energy. Movies over. Credits. Classic John Williams intro music, and at the end we get the one and only um like clip for the next like show. I forget what it's called. Sneak
Oh, you're right, you're right,
preview
you're right.
or
Uh-huh.
like post clip or something. I forget what it's called. We get
Bum,
the
bum,
breathing of
bum.
Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Movie's
if
over,
that's not
but
ominous, I don't know what is.
we we aren't done. There's more to talk about. Um, because there's lore behind this movie. Um,
Uh-huh.
there is books also in this timeline, and one cool book was Plagueis. And
Mm,
in it, um, this mysterious hood guy is named Darth Sidious. We don't know who
uh-huh,
he is, but his master is Darth Plagueis the Wise, and he was alive during this time. So
uh-huh.
technically, Darth Maul wasn't a Darth at all. He was an acolyte or an assassin,
Yeah,
though on the heel
because
of the
yeah,
Sith, because the Sith is you've got um
rule of
your
two.
two lords, which
Yeah,
there's the master and the apprentice. They are the lords, and they are named Darth whatever. Um, and some
yeah,
noticeable ones: Darth Sidious, Darth Vader, Darth Plagueis, Darth Maul. So we get told he's an apprentice, but actually, Darth Plagueis was still alive and actually saw Anakin. Everyone's figured out a
yeah.
way to like hide himself and disguise
Uh-huh.
himself as a handmaiden, which creepy. Number one,
It's very scary, yeah.
but Darth Sidious decides to snuff him with a pillow to kill
Funny way to
Plagueis
go out.
and take the position of master because of the
Yeah.
rule of two. Um, as well
So did that
as
happen? Did Darth
th-
Plagueis die in like while the Phantom Menace is happening?
yeah,
Or
um,
after? Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
I don't know like what year, but that's
Yeah,
kind
just
of like
around the time period. Right.
yeah, because um, yeah, Darth Plagueis um was died between 40 BBY and 32 BBY.
Ah,
Um,
I see.
and in what happened in 32 BBY was it's 13 years before the foundation of the empire. Um, but 32 BBY is when Amidala was elected queen. Um,
Uh-huh.
when
What else
leaders
happened
of
that
other
year?
planets in which but this is right. It's the same year that the Sith made the Apprentice, and Senator um Palpatine is elected Supreme Chancellor of the Galactic Republic, replacing the Finis Valorum. The so it's like literally the same time frame of
Uh-huh.
this film. Um,
Okay, yeah.
Valorum what was male. He is, um they don't tell us much about him. He was a chancellor and he was part of the refuge relief movement. Um, but after um he was supreme chancellor, um, he basically he um he Valom assisted the Jedi Order as they investigated Sifo Dyas, um, who during the Chancellor's thing. But basically, he did nothing. Valorum
Yeah,
was
yeah,
kind of one and done character, and um, basically hasn't done anything since then. So we don't know much about him. There's some backstory and stuff. There's some things he did. We don't know if when he died or anything. Don't know much. Um,
uh-huh.
about Valorn. Um, we know Anakin is 10 at this film, or a bit younger, and Padme was like 16,
14, 15,
I
yeah,
think.
somewhere around there.
Young, young to be queen and then politics. But
Yeah, I know, it is
in there's like
really young.
in the like politics of Naboo, you've got the governor, and then you have a queen. I think the queen barely does much, and is more of a head of state, and it's in an elected position, which is
Yeah,
weird. It's not like the Queen of England or the King of England, that it's through a family lineage. It's
uh-huh.
they vote, and it's weird. And we've never heard of like there being a um king of Naboo.
Yeah, it's just, like, the queen, like okay.
Yeah,
No, that's fair, I guess.
yeah. Pet though. Oh, yes. There were kings in the monarch of Naboo. Um, and
But
then there
what?
was a new, and then there was a new queen elected. Um, of Naboo, and but like, and the queen of Naboo has is just a political office. Um, so it's kind of weird how
Yeah.
it works. But um,
Yeah, yeah.
after this film, Um, Padme finishes a thing, but there's like has Queen, and there's this vacancy as Senator of Naboo because Pal Senator Palpatine became Chancellor, so the new Queen
Mhm,
asks Padme to solve that position and is Senator and now lives on Coruscant in a fancy thing and
mhm,
helps set up the next film. But overall, I've enjoyed that film. I think has aged on me. When I was younger, I thought of it in a different light. Now I can actually see some of the differences and the relationship building and stuff, the deepness
yeah,
of
yeah,
that film.
I think that's the same for me.
And like even fans, people hated the prequels and now they love them.
Uh-huh.
Strange. Um, but I think unless you have anything else to add, Fives, I think this is a good place to call it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think yeah, yeah, I think it's a good place. I have nothing else
So,
to add.
um, we will probably do another episode on the Clone Wars. Um, sorry we are behind on posting episodes. This after this is done, I've got 2 episodes to upload. So,
Good luck,
um,
buddy.
that's for tomorrow me to deal with. When I'm
Yeah,
back at
okay.
my computer. But besides that, may the force be with you. If you
Yeah,
are watching on YouTube, make sure to like. If you're subscribed, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe because it helps us view how we are doing and we can make our community stronger.
yeah.
As well, we have a Discord page called the House of Vizsla clan, and you can
Mhm.
join and become a member of the 3 clans under the House of Vizsla. This is where we can talk Star Wars. We'll also update you, and you also get notified when we release new stuff. And it's also
Seriously,
where
guys.
our newsletter is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For us
Yep.
right now, it's just an empty Discord page with a
So be the
mod
first
in
to
it.
join. Uh-huh.
Join it, have fun, and may the force be with you. And
Yep.
have a Merry Christmas. Bye.